There were two questions that came in. One was, what are my favorite lifts and why? Because I wasn't so detailed last night, maybe because I was drinking. And the other one is, which was very funny, is why am I always talking in the gym and not showing you guys my workouts? The first part to that is, well, the reason why I'm not showing you guys my workouts is because I'm sensitive. Maybe I'm oversensitive, but millions of you around the world, millions and millions of you around the world can't get to a gym. You're not able to work out at full max capacity the way you want to. So the last thing I want to do, it would make me feel like an asshole. So I'm like, hey guys, look at me, look at the workouts I'm having. These are great, look at my gym. I'm just not going to show that. That's just not my style. Just know that I'm working extremely hard. And, I don't take this shit for granted that for years I've had my own personal gym. So I don't want to waste any time. You can live vicariously through me if you're not able to get to a gym. I promise you, I have built up enough intensity and rage every day while we are all dealing with this pandemic. So that's the only reason why I'm not showing you guys how I'm training. Just know that I'm working really, really hard. And maybe once things starting to flatten a little bit, we start seeing a little bit of light at the end of this tunnel, one day at a time, which it seems we are, which is really nice and encouraging, then maybe I'll start showing you guys my training. The other thing is what are my favorite lifts and why, and what would I recommend for you guys to train once you guys are back? The second part to that answer, really that's up to you. My favorite lifts in the gym, honestly, it's everything. I learned at a very early age to make sure that I was training full body always, and never wanted to be the kind of guy who only trained upper body or only trained my chest or my arms and neglected my legs, or just trained my arms and nothing else. Because also you don't want to get put in a position where, because your body, your muscularity and your structure, it's all chain linked. So you don't want to be in a position where you're training, a body part consistently very hard, neglecting others. And then that body part is compensating, the other ones are compensating. Before you know it, you've got a body that looks kind of out of, aesthetically not pleasing, but more importantly than the aesthetics and the optics of that, as you get a little older, it's just not healthy, because that's how you start getting injured and getting hurt. What would I recommend? But my favorite, not only full body, but in particular, I always make it a point to make sure that I'm really training my lower body, my quads, my hamstrings, glutes, my calves. A lot of dudes, we get a bad rap because they only want to train their upper bodies. Boys, don't neglect your lower body. It's the most important thing you could do, because when you train hard, especially if you're training legs hard and you're doing squats, whether they're heavy squats or squats for the burn at the end of your workout, the lower body, when you train it hard, it's the biggest muscle that you have, basically the biggest muscle group that you have that requires the biggest output of energy. And you stress your entire body, your adrenal glands, you stress everything in your body, your brain, everything gets stressed. But if you train right, everything gets stressed in a great way. So if you're looking to lose weight, that's a good way to lose weight, is to make sure that you're focusing on your lower body too. And so I just always loved, training my lower body, because it's our anchor. And these are my wheels. I only got one set of wheels. And what I would recommend for you guys who you don't have the opportunity to train right now, when this bounce back happens, and the bounce back is going to happen, and you guys who don't have an opportunity to train, men and women, you're going to come back like a bull in a china shop with the intensity and the velocity of a runaway train. You guys are going to train like beasts. What I would recommend now, and it's what I'm doing too, even though I still have the opportunity to train, is just take inventory of your training, take inventory of the goals that you've already reached, the goals that you didn't, the goals that you want to in the future, because the gyms are going to open back up. You never know, maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks, I'm not quite too sure, maybe earlier for some of you guys around the world, as we're experiencing some flattenings of the curve and seeing some really good things around the world. So I would do that. I would start writing everything down. If you have a whiteboard like I do, I write all my shit down on a whiteboard. If you don't have that, just write it down, your notebook, paper, whatever it is, or in your phone, type it in your phone. But I would take mental inventory on everything you have going on in terms of your training and where you want to see improvement, what your challenges are, and also embrace the wins, the big wins. If you had some big wins already in 2020 and you made some great gains, great, embrace it, and let's build from there. So thank you for your questions. I appreciate it. Keep them coming, and most importantly, stay healthy. Talk soon. Hey everybody, hope you guys are doing well, or as well as can be during this time. Happy Friday. Happy Good Friday to some of you guys. Happy Passover to some of you guys. And happy I Need a Drink to many of you guys, including myself. As you know, I am always an advocate for deeper dialogue, a quality dialogue that informs us. So I'm excited at the opportunity that I have to sit and chat today with the Governor of California, Gavin Newsom. We're going to be chatting live on our Instagram accounts. Join us here, myself and the governor. We're going to be chatting about, obviously, the pandemic, everything that we're dealing with, how we're managing it, the encouraging things we are seeing, and the challenges we still have in front of us. So it'll be, the chat will be myself, the governor, and the people. So join us right here on my Instagram and his Instagram as well. 1:30 Pacific time, 4:30 Eastern time. I will see you then. The governor, the rock, and the people. We'll see you. All right, great question that came in from you guys last night regarding my film career. There's been a lot of great questions, by the way. And again, thank you guys so much for being engaged week in and week out with all these questions. It's so cool to stay connected to you guys. A lot of questions about my wrestling career, my movie career, a lot of questions about relationships, a lot of questions about tequila, a lot of questions about mental health, wellness, all of which I will certainly get to. So the question I saw last night was a really cool one. It made me think. The question was there ever a role in Hollywood that I wanted so badly and I went after and I didn't get it and it went to another actor? That answer is yes. And that role is Jack Reacher. And of course it went to Tom Cruise. Now, the B-side of my answer is that the truth is, you know, in Hollywood, actors are kind of like in a box, and the roles that are written, there's a lot of actors that can vie for a particular role because it calls for them to have a certain look, skin color, size, etc. Fortunately for me, there's not a lot of guys in Hollywood at all who look like me. So all of my roles from the beginning of my career, I've been a lucky son of a bitch that they have all been created and designed specifically for me, except Jack Reacher. So now this was over 10 years ago and I was in a much different place. I recognize that, a much different place in my career. Tom was obviously the biggest movie star in the world, and I was not. So I wanted that role so badly because I was a big fan of that character and I thought I could do him justice. He was my height, 6'4", 6'5", 275, 280 pounds, and he was a bad dude. So I got the call saying, hey, look, you know, you didn't get the role. Now, look, the truth is I don't even know if I had a shot for it, but the people around me at that time made me think that I did, and I felt like I did. I felt like, why not me? But anyway, I went to Tom. No hard feelings, of course. But the interesting thing about that, and it's just funny how the universe works sometimes, is that when I didn't get that role, I got a call from Universal Studios saying, hey, we have this idea about you joining the Fast and Furious franchise. And they were quick to say, we know it's late in the game, and they were just getting ready to shoot like in about 3 weeks or something like that, or a month, I can't remember. And they said, there's not a lot of money for the role, but it is a good opportunity. So I said, well, I've been a fan of the franchise and what you guys have been doing, and especially I see the potential in this, and this was for Fast 5. And I said two things: just give me the creative freedom and space to create the character that I want to create, and let me create a little team around me, and don't worry about the money. I said, I'm doing all right now. I'm not starving. I said, but, you know, in success, and if I create a character that people are going to like and that could kind of hit the zeitgeist of culture in a cool way, then the money's going to be there. And they said, absolutely, deal. Shook hands and put a team around me of the Fast 5 writer, Chris Morgan, who has written Fast 5, 6, 7, 8. He did not write Fast 9, and he wrote Hobbs and Shaw. And the other part of that equation was our $7 president, who I've known since I was 18 years old, Hiram Garcia. So the three of us in this trifecta nucleus created this character of Hobbs. And, you know, I always look back on that time because I was so disappointed that I didn't get Jack Reacher. But also looking back, I'm I'm positive that the role of Jack Reacher, because it was an established property and IP and character, well known and beloved all around the world, I wouldn't have had the creative space to do what I wanted to do with the character. So with Hobbs, we created this character from scratch, and I wanted to create the baddest walking, shit-talking, the jabroni beating, pie eating, trailblazing, eyebrow raising, kicking ass character of I was going to say The Rock, of Hobbs. But you could see there's so many qualities in Hobbs that are really just an extension of me. And I feel like, and by the way, so now looking back, I had that creative space and freedom. And we created a character that audiences, you guys around the world, just completely fell in love with. And I'm so grateful for that. And what we have realized over time with the character of Hobbs, with all the crazy antics and, you know, there's like gravity defying things that Hobbs does. I mean, you know, he's the guy who broke a cast off his arm and was like, Daddy's got to go to work. He's the guy who redirected a torpedo in Fast 8. And of course, in Hobbs and Shaw, he's the guy who was like holding a helicopter with one arm and a chain and holding on to the back of the rig. But I found that if we can create a character that was consistently winking at the audience and just letting the audience know in Fast 5, 6, 7, 8, and Hobbs and Shaw, when we created the spinoff, letting the audience know, winking, that I'm having the time of my life. Hobbs is having so much fun. He doesn't always have the answers, but he's going to act like he does. You're goddamn right I do. But always having fun. And it's that winking entertainment value and quality that Hobbs is able to bring that allows the fans to accept and embrace, like, hell yeah, Hobbs can hold the helicopter. Hell yeah, he can lasso the moon. Hell yeah, he could do all these things, you know, that kind of thing. So I look back with gratitude that I did not get Jack Reacher because, you know, when one door closes, sometimes in life, in a kind of cool way, the universe will open up another door, and that other door was Hobbs and Shaw. One more thing regarding Hobbs and the universe that we're creating is, a lot of you guys were super excited a few weeks ago when I made when I said that we are developing the sequel to Hobbs and Shaw, which we are. Chris Morgan, of course, will write again. $7 Productions will produce again. And, you know, we created a lot of great characters, from Vanessa Kirby character to Idris Elba, Isaac Gonzalez. And now in this next installment, I have a few more surprises, great characters to create. Not characters that, you know, Hobbs can just kick the shit out of, because that's boring, but characters I think that you guys are going to fall in love with. Villains, anti-heroes, and heroes all across the board. So I'm excited about that. Thank you guys for the question. I appreciate it. And most importantly, you guys stay healthy and stay safe. And we're going to get through this thing. Thanks again. Chat soon.